Question 10, the last of your differentiation questions, the most challenging. I think I was a bit disappointed with this in that it's very, very similar to what was on the homework sheet. We know it's difficult, and there's 5 marks here. That's why it's a show that, so that you can go on and do this. So everybody should really be getting at least 6, because those marks there aren't too bad. Let's show you how to start them. So we're talking about a square-based cuboid. Sorry about my picture there, but just 1 mark like that. You get a mark for just drawing this square base here. And let's make this thing h high and try and figure out what the surface area of this is. The surface area of the bottom there was x squared, and then you've got a rectangle here that is xh, and all 4 of them are the same. So you've got 4 xh's there. And you're told that that is equal to 1,600. Rearrange that. Get the h all on its own by taking away the x squared and then dividing by the 4x. That tells you what h is because you made up the h. Now the volume of this thing is just x squared times by h. And because we now have a formula for what h is, let's put that in there. So the volume is x squared times by 1,600, take away x squared, all over 4x. Now you've got to tidy this algebra, but you do know the thing you're aiming for. Look at it there. So let's cancel that x with that one there, and then we've got 1,600x divided by 4 minus, we've got an x cubed here, x cubed over 4. Is that what we wanted? Oh, one last bit. 1,600 divided by 4 is 400. So there's pi, and that's 5 marks. I'm going to have to scroll down, just pause that. So continuing now, I now need to differentiate this thing. So differentiating, few people worried about the power here, but if I'm dividing by 4, this says I've got a quarter of that. And so dv by dx is, the x disappears here, 400, times by the power. 3 times a quarter is 3/4, and the power goes down by 1, x squared. At the maximum point, this is equal to 0. And I just solved this equation now, so I'm going to add that to both sides. I'm going to times by 4 and divide by 3. I've got a few people writing 300 here, sort of mucking up the rearranging there. And so x squared is 1,600 divided by 3, and x is the square root of that. The square root of that, I mean, you can do it as a decimal. It's going to be 40√3 over 3, just tapping that into the calculator. Can't be the negative one. The negative one wouldn't work because you obviously couldn't have a negative distance here, so it might be worth writing that down. Lots of people forgot to answer the question. The question said, what is the maximum volume? And so now we've got to put that value into this volume equation here. And that's just a tappity-tap-tap. Tap all of those values in, and you get something close to 6,160. That's the answer you want there. The last bit then says, well, show that this is the maximum and not the minimum. And so that means that we are finding the second derivative of this. Differentiate this again. So the 400 disappears now, and we've got 3/4 times by 2, so 3/2 x. When you put the x value in there, you get a negative answer. I mean, I'd work out what it is, but you then get the standard line that this is negative, it's less than 0, therefore v is a maximum. And look, it's a tough question. It's question 10. There's 11 marks in total there. You want to get half of them. You don't want sort of 1 or 2 marks there. A 5 or a 6 would make you happy.